Next up in the workshop, Santa's not the only guy in a big red suit.
Hey guys, welcome back to the workshop. We are continuing to work on Krampus, Big Man, and the other hero. Hero? Another folk tale, folklore person of Christmas. Now, this is a big 3D printed fella, and I am kind of doing them for a friend of mine. He wants to try and sneak him into his mother-in-law's Christmas displays and see how long it takes her to notice. As you can see, we have been working mostly on the red, and we've kind of gone, it doesn't really show up as well on the screen as it does in person, but you can kind of see that we've been, I've been kind of taking it a darker route, a more crimson, wine-colored route. You can see the highlights, stuff like that. Now we're going to work on the fur ruffs that are, the fur trim and the fur ruffs that are on the shoulders. And I've changed my palette. I've cleaned up the palette. I've gone from totally messy to somewhat clean. So what we're going to do for our first colors, we're going to take Korax White. Korax White is a slightly off color, or slightly off white color. It's kind of gray, kind of white. Hence the Korax White. And let's see. We are going to take our medium base brush. Nope, this isn't my dry brush. Where's my medium layer? Or my medium base? Things are all over the place. And I can't find what I'm looking for. There we are. Found it. As you can see, we've been using a lot of red with it. Okay. So off screen, I'm wetting down my brush. This Korax White is a highly pigmented white. Okay, now we are going to start. And we are going to kind of brush along about where the borders would be. Right there. as part of being neat. As you can see, it's covering pretty good with one coat. We're still going to let it dry and go back over it. And if we get stuff on the nails and the hands, that's okay, because we're not there yet. We're going to try to be careful and not wreck the red. Try our best to not have to redo all the red. But if we get stuff on the hands, that's okay, because we haven't painted. We're not at the hands yet. Also, it gives you a bit more opportunity to decide what color you're going to paint the hands and stuff. Going back over some of the spots that I've already painted because they're dry. Almost done, at least the first cuff. And yeah, we have to try and get into the little sticky situations that are the inside of the arms. Because it would look funny if you didn't. There we are. Nice and gentle and easy as you please. Here we are, the first cuff is at least base coated. Go on to the ruff, or the shoulder, or whatever you want to call it. Again, we're getting as close as we can to the red without really wrecking all the work that we've done before. You can go back in and fix things if you need to. But if you exercise just a little bit of patience and a little bit of caution, won't need to. I mean, if you make a mistake and you just lose control of the brush and it happens. It totally happens. Happens to the best of us. Then, of course, you got to go in and try and fix that little mishap. But what's better than not having to do that? Now, he has a beard, and we're probably going to do the beard the same color, too. I'll probably take the white. I'm going to throw in the beard. I think he'll look quite fetching. Bigger models like this, of course, are a little easier and a little bit more difficult all at the same time to paint. Difficult because they have such large expanses that have to be filled in. But easier at the same time because they're not as finicky. Because you can make a small mistake on them and it's not going to show up as glaringly obvious as if it was on a smaller miniature. Because on a smaller miniature, a small mistake will look like a large mistake, whereas on a large miniature, a small mistake will look like a small mistake. Oh, this Krampus is quite fashionable. I mean, check it out. He's got nice, he's got an excellent sense of fashion with the capping on the sleeve like he has. That's beginning to look pretty darn good, I think. All right. Now we're moving on to the hood and the beard. Like I said, the beard is most likely going to be the same color as the rest of the trim. My goodness, this Krampus looks good. There we go. Now we'll kind of leave the beard kind of until last. We're going to do the rest of the ruffs and cuffs. I think it'll be quite a sight. Now, I'll have to do a little bit of a cleanup, but not bad. I've had worse mistakes. We are doing our best to keep it nice and tidy and clean. So we do the minimum amount of cleanup. But I have a little bit of cleanup to do, but not much. So guys, what do you think? He's looking pretty darn good so far, I think. Yeah, I think so. I mean, we gotta still have a ways to go. So a lot of different things to paint. We have the other cuff and we have the trim around the base of the robe. But we're getting on. We're getting there. He's coming along fantastical, I think, anyway. Oops. Got a little overzealous. Have to fix that up. See? Told you. Accidents happen, and it happens to the best of us. Not saying I'm the best. I'm definitely not saying I'm the worst. But I'm saying that it happens. There we are. Come along quite nicely, I think. I would love to know how long it takes his mother-in-law to figure out that this ain't Santa. And hopefully he'll tell me. Be like, yeah, she noticed right away. Or, no, took her the season. Or, nah, she didn't notice at all, man. So we snuck it back out, and then we're going to sneak it back in next year. That'd be really cool if she never noticed, I think. Now my bowel's moving. There we are. Here we are, just working our merry way around. Doing the cuffs, doing the trim. Making them look good. Like I said, we have to get into the tricky parts. The inner arm. Because it would look weird if we didn't. And if we get paint on the hand, that's alright, because we haven't gotten there again. We still are working on other parts. It's working near the edge of the red. We want to try and have a steadier hand. There we are. Oh, a little bit back here. And then we can go on to the bottom of the robe. There we are. Ooh, he's looking pretty good. Okay. Now we're at the bottom. The bottom's a little easier because we don't have to be quite as tidy when we at least reach the bottom, like when we reach the base of it. Where it still touches the red, we still want to be careful. But, you know, when we get down here to the bottom, we can go right onto the, well, you can go right onto the base. That doesn't matter as much. It'll be a little messier. And we're just going to keep going around. And we're going to give it a nice first coat of the Corax white. We're going to let that dry. Give it a second coat. And we're going to go from there. Now, of course, a lot of the second coat and everything like that's going to happen while you guys are away and I'm plugging away here in the studio. And that's alright. There we are. So before we go today, we're at least going to finish up the trim. Well, not finish up, but at least get the base color down. There we are. So we can say that we've got the white on the cloth done. Of course, we haven't done the beard yet, but that's okay. The beard's just going to be the same color. Don't you worry. But the beard's going to be a little bit more precise. And next week we're going to just continue on painting away. Alright, guys. Well, it's been a pleasure painting with you. And as you can see, we've got pretty much, well, the robe done. And the horns. We've done the rope belt. We got the robes mostly finished. But by the time you guys come back, we'll probably have the beard done and the trim done. And then we're just going to continue working for well, we might even have the bells done. The bells. Then we'll work on the skin and the face. And then he's done. So until next time, guys, paint safe and stay safe, and we will see you in the studio.